We've been told many times that we should be masters of our destiny, masters of our happiness. But what does that actually mean? Gautama Buddha said that we ourselves should walk the path. No one can do it but ourselves. No one can and no one may. I actually love the path that I've chosen. And what I would like to share with you today is my recipe for a happy life and a happy career. I believe that my ingredients, they could be universal. They could be beneficial to each and every one of you. Those ingredients could be turned into questions. The first question is, who am I? When I get to answer this question, I usually say that I'm a happy person. And what makes me happy? I believe that happiness comes from gratitude. And there are plentiful of scientific studies to prove my point. Also TED talks and TED speeches. But I believe that this is good for me, that I'm gifted in this sense, because gratitude comes naturally to me. When I was a little, starting from my very early age, I have been the one to find and get joy from the simplest of things. I have learned to be more conscious about it with over years, and I have definitely managed to find and create routines for this conscious habit of mine. And what I do every single morning and evening before going to bed, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. That works every time, and I could definitely suggest you doing the same or finding your own routine, your own way of being conscious about being happy and being grateful. Now, the second question is, how does one choose a profession? I believe that there is no doubt how significant this question is. I'm a teacher of 12th graders. They're about to go out there and do their own mistakes and make their own choices. And I myself have had 2 major career choices. The first one was law. The second one was languages and teaching. While studying, I developed this so-called strategy that I call the glove. The glove of finding your own path, your own occupation. The glove has 5 fingers. And I believe that we can distinguish 5 main qualities that we possess personally and 5 main things that each professional field benefits from. Let me elaborate by sharing an example. Lawyers, law. I believe that lawyers should be eloquent with words in both writing and speaking. I believe that they should have a sense of justice and of what is right. I also think that lawyers should be well organized, able to deal with lots of information in order to prepare for the case. Lawyers also should be diligent, that's for sure. All these things said, I would say that I had the qualities needed for a lawyer. And according to my strategy, my career finding method, I know that there are many people with different skills. Those skills are definitely needed in many different professions. And we constantly grow and we constantly develop. While studying and working as a lawyer in a family law clinic, I realized that I could be a lawyer. I did have those qualities needed. But the question was, were they the ones that are significant in my own pool of virtues and skills and talents? I was working, as I said, in the family law clinic. I was helping American families adopt Lithuanian children. I definitely loved the sense of justice there. I also enjoyed the occasional visits of adoptive parents. I also liked the social part of it and that I was doing some changes there. Yet, what did I not really enjoy in this? I could not find myself enjoying the time that I spent on the computer. And what I hated about this was the political part of it. I could not understand the structural obstacles for the American parents to adopt our children. And my dad kept asking me, when was I going to put an end to that? It wasn't misery, but it was definitely dissatisfaction. And it took me 3 months to realize that law is not my path, made be a promising career for someone else. Of course, the money was good, prospects were good, working hours fine, and the occasional visits of the parents were also pleasant. But they were not enough to satisfy my inner craving for a thoroughly fulfilling profession. So I left law and never looked back. What came next was the school that I graduated from, and the school that I could not really cut my umbilical cord from. I was asked to substitute a teacher for English lessons, and that's what I did for 4 months now, so a bit more than the law. And these 4 months were full of definitely amazing, inspirational moments, and also some burdensome evenings where I actually cried my heart out because I was not enough and I found so many obstacles in my way. Yet all that experience was enough for me to make the decision that I want to pursue a career in teaching. After law, I want to become a teacher. And then consequently, four more years of studies, and I studied English, Spanish, linguistics, because why choose one language if you can choose two? And pedagogics as minor studies came along my way. And now the question could be, why do I enjoy teaching as much as I do? Why do I think it's my vocation? The answer here would be that, as I said, that we are different. We have so many different skills. But I believe that law did not employ my core values and skills. I believe that teaching does. And those skills, values, passions, and interests are definitely needed in my everyday life, in my everyday lesson that I get to give. And those core skills and passions could be, they could be my passion for learning languages. I love it. I honestly do. Then I am inspired to search for new teaching methods and new team building strategies. I also love traditional culture, not only Lithuanian, but also British, American, Australian, Scottish, all those. And I find myself interested in especially literature and dances. These are my things. What is more, I definitely find myself interested in the growth, in constantly improving myself. And I believe that teachers definitely have to keep on growing, keep on improving. And I love getting and giving feedback. I like it. I love it. I don't know whether you do, but that's what I do. Right. So this makes me believe that now the glove fits perfectly because I employ something I really enjoy. And I believe that school is the place where I get to use it for someone else's benefit. I believe that teachers should be passionate about teaching and not just teaching their own subject. I believe that teachers should be passionate about learning different things themselves. Then I believe that teachers should be consistent and well organized. We create systems all the time, and we should stick to them also. I also think that teachers should enjoy the social aspect of it, facing kids every day and inspiring them, inviting them to take action. That's at least what I try to do. I don't know whether it's working, but look at this event. Most of my students have been a part of that. Okay, so yes, I have these ideas about teaching, and I find myself that these shoes are big enough for me. And these shoes are interesting enough for me because I want to keep doing that every day. To be completely honest, I must say that it's not just teaching and lessons that I'm passionate about and what makes me feel fulfilled in the professional field. I also love the camps. They're a major part of my inner satisfaction. And why? Even if it's for a couple of days, but I get to meet the kids and I get to meet the team, make the team. And this is definitely enjoyable. This is what I like doing from the very beginning, from choosing the right members, the right candidates to lead. Then we do work so much to build a team from them. We create programs ourselves. And finally, I get to see the older kids in action, when they're actually leading, when they're teaching even, because we have programs where we give integrated lessons. I thrive on different programs, that's for sure. From community building to cultures, languages. We speak Spanish in our camps. Could you imagine that? And finally, yes, the full-on academic approach. Students give lessons that I believe would be great if they were universal in every single school. So camps complement my chosen profession. And I have to tell you that I could not picture myself being a camp organizer and a teacher. These were two separate, and truth be told, not particularly attractive professional choices when I was in school. I finished the school, so when I was about to graduate, the only valid choices were law, medicine, economics, business maybe. These things that were not my inner passion or satisfaction. But it took me 5 years studying law to understand that they were not fit for me and to find my own way, my own path. And here I could give you an advice, if I can. The advice would be not to be afraid to ask yourselves the right questions at all stages of your life, of your professional life especially. And those questions could be, am I fulfilling my potential in doing what I do? Does this bring inner satisfaction? Do I want to wake up early in the morning? Or not necessarily early, but do I want to wake up in the morning to do what I do, to study what I study? And does this chosen professional field benefit from having me with my core skills, values, and interests? Of course, there will be days when you will not wake up with joys of spring, thinking of yet another camp to lead, another group of kids to meet, or another set of lessons to give. We're human, we have our good days and bad days. It's only natural. But I believe in this inner satisfaction and the feeling of balance that we get when we make the right choices for ourselves. Finally, I would like to add actually not finally, I still have more points to give. I would like to add another question that is another ingredient. How does one value one's time and make the most of it? My answer here is to volunteer. To volunteer to find out what you're interested in, what makes your heart beat stronger. And in my case, most of my volunteering positions turned into job offers. Somehow, one way or the other. After school, I kept coming back for school retreats for older kids. And that seemed to be preparatory work for me to get a job offer as an employee here. I was also very active in our traditional dance community, and I started teaching there. I was invited to join the organizational team, where I stayed for 5 years, before moving on to start my own festival with 2 friends of mine. That's called Folk LT. To be honest, that may not have been the most financially profitable activity I've ever done, yet I had so many opportunities to teach, to meet amazing teachers from all over the world, and to organize. And organizing seems to be my thing. I really do enjoy it. So dancing was a hobby at first, and then it turned out to be an activity that I get invited to do, and I get paid to do. I also love the fact that I travel a lot, or I did before the COVID, thanks to teaching dances. And I have had my fair share of wonderful and bizarre cases with teaching dances abroad. For example, I went to France once to teach traditional dances to French people, their own traditional dances. So you can imagine that. And I don't even speak French. Not at the moment, I'm learning, but I did not speak French then when I went there. So what could I tell you at this point? I believe that money will come. We naturally think of it, it's important, but I believe that the money will come if we actually do what we enjoy. Even more so, if we find a field that makes others happy somehow. It may be the extrovert in me speaking, but also Pablo Picasso said it, that the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. I believe in that, and if you want to write down something, this is a very good quote. And now I can say this, that all my experiences, all my life has led me to this point that I do believe that there are no mistakes. They are just lessons. And they could be called stitches in the rich tapestry of our lives. And I believe law was a great lesson for me. It led me to 10 years of folklore. It led me to this alternative career as a dance teacher. It also led me to yoga. I also teach yoga, as Auste already said. And law led me to school. School led me to lessons and camps where Goda is happy, where Goda is grateful, and where Goda is satisfied with her choices. To sum up, if you forget most of what I said, because this is it, this is the end of my talk, this is my recipe, and if you forget most of what I said, I would just like you to remember one thing, that it's never too late to pursue something, to pursue what in your heart of hearts feels right for you to do. And by making the right choices for ourselves, we make others happy as well. And I believe that even if that somehow, if that experience tells us what we're not good at, what we don't enjoy, that's a very useful lesson to learn. And I would like you to listen to yourselves when you're making those decisions, to ask those questions that I mentioned before, and to definitely make the right choices for you so that you too can be fulfilled. Thank you.